This here is Boom Studios Go-Go Power Rangers comic issue number 23. Necessary evil continues with the Power Rangers taking on Lord Dracon's sentries. So we've gone back to the time of Shattered Grid. As we can see here, the Rangers easily dispatch Dracon's sentries. But once Dracon himself is on the scene, the Rangers start to struggle. It's the Beast Morphers who are getting defeated by Dracon. And as he begins to gloat about not even breaking a single drop of sweat, he hears a voice from the next challenger, Jason. Dracon thought he had killed him already, but there Jason is and he morphs into action. He takes on Dracon head-on with his power sword. It's a bit confusing because I don't remember things panning out this way in Shattered Grid. And the reason we're seeing all this is because, as I suspected with the previous issue, Jason is recalling the Shattered Grid events after the emissary approached him. Jason's mind was not equipped to handle so much, but it's the only way Jason will remember what happened. In downtown Angel Grove, the other Rangers are continuing their battle with Warbunny. They're still having a hard time, and one of the reasons is because Warbunny started off as Mr. Lopsy, the rabbit, which is why Zack asks if they're trying to kill the rabbit, but Trini says no. By not taking the killing route, Warbunny has the advantage against the Power Rangers. He then takes one of Zed's growth bombs and detonates it to grow to giant size. To match that, the Rangers summon their Thunderzords. I like the effort the artist put into this because you can see the Dinozords appear first, before the Thunderzords, just like the TV show. With the Zords up, they try to direct Warbunny away to the west. Reason being is that part of the city is still under construction from the Rangers' previous battle, so Trini wants to get it away from where they are currently to avoid crushing the Volunteer Center. Back to Jason versus Dracon, and they're having quite the battle one-on-one. Jason's actually holding his own despite his visor being damaged. As I said earlier, I don't remember things panning out this way in Shattered Grid. Dracon still thinks he's godlike and tells Jason he can't hurt the past. He can't kill a ghost. But Jason takes a swipe with the power sword and kills Dracon. But then there's a voice telling him that Dracon was only the first. Then Jason wakes up. His communicator is beeping away and he answers Alpha's call. He tells Alpha to teleport him to the Rangers' location immediately, despite the emissary telling Jason that their time is running short. But Jason's friends are in trouble and he opts to go to the Rangers instead. Good idea too, because when we go back to the Rangers downtown, we see the Thunderzords are taking a battering from Warbunny. Zack says it's too bad they don't have a giant turtle they can call in to teach it a lesson. A clear reference to Tor the Shuttlezord that the Rangers would eventually get in the TV series. If they had Tor at this stage, they'd likely fare better against Warbunny, as Tor's armour was very strong. Anyway, a blast from above halts Warbunny's attack, and the blast came from Jason's Red Dragon Thunderzord. Kimberly says it's about time he showed up, but Zack says it was one heck of an entrance. It certainly feels like the star of the show is here to save the day. But actually, just as Jason was formulating his plan of switching to Thunderzord Assault mode, Trini wants to use Warbunny's thinking against himself. Warbunny thinks of himself as a warrior, so Trini positions her Griffin Thunderzord right in front of Warbunny. She gets out from the Zord and tells Warbunny that he's not a monster. Trini says Warbunny is just a little rabbit who likes to hop and eat carrots, and it's still Mr. Lopsy. That gets Warbunny all riled up, so he makes a run at Trini and tries to bring his hammer down on the Griffin Thunderzord. As the hammer approaches, Jason's Red Dragon Thunderzord steps in warrior mode and defeats Warbunny with its finisher. That was Trini's plan. Psychological warfare to draw Warbunny in. The Rangers leave their Zords to go in search of Mr. Lopsy, and Zack finds him alive and well, except for the left ear being a little singed. Zack and Trini return to the Volunteer Center, and Zack offers to work with Trini an afternoon a week. Trini, however, tells him that she's already quit volunteering there. This surprises Zack, but Trini tells Zack she can't continue helping out there because Zed targeted her, which put the Volunteer Center in danger. Back at the command center, it's clear that Zed's putting the pressure on the Rangers by going after them and the things they care about. Billy then turns his attention to Jason and asks why he was late responding. Jason doesn't tell the Rangers about the emissary, only to say he didn't hear the communicator and that he won't make the same mistake again. In the meantime, it looks like Billy will take a look at Jason's communicator, although he probably won't find anything wrong with it. During the evening, we see Kimberly talking to Matt in the park. It looks like Kimberly has taken up Matt's offer from the previous issue about talking about not normal stuff. It looks like this is what Kimberly needs. She needed someone to talk to about her Ranger life without talking about it to another Power Ranger. As Matt knows the Rangers' identities, Kimberly feels she can unload all her Ranger problems onto him. To cheer Kimberly up from the pressure Lord Zed has put on the Rangers, Matt attempts Kimberly's gymnastic dismount and simply falls to the ground hard. Kimberly tells him she does wonder sometimes how different things would have been had Matt been chosen to become a Power Ranger. I think a lot of the readers of this comic would actually like to see Matt as a Power Ranger. At the end of the scene, it looks like Kimberly and Matt could be back on. Back at Jason's home, he's working out and speaking with the emissary. He says he remembers Tommy dying, he remembers Lauren Jen and the other Rangers, and what they did to stop Drakon and rebuild reality. Jason also says he thinks he died on the moon, crushed inside the Q-Rex, but he saw himself facing Drakon one-on-one, as we saw earlier in this issue. The emissary explains that in order to restore Jason's memories, he had to open his mind to the past, present and future, all at once, so the battle Jason saw wasn't a true representation of what happened, but a fight for his sanity. Jason tells the emissary he will help him, but he won't leave the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers now. He says he needs to assemble new Rangers to face what's to come. When the emissary asks if Jason saw something earlier, like something from the future, Jason tells him he's not sure, but he heard a voice after he defeated Drakon, that he was only the first. We then see shadows of the threats that are to come beyond Rita and Zed. We can see exactly who they are despite the shadows, like Garrison Vox and Dane from the main comic. That's the end of this issue, and I like how this is taking us closer to when Jason, Trini and Zack become the Omega Rangers. We're going to be able to see the origin of the Omega Rangers soon, I hope. The action was okay in this issue, as the Thunderzords took on Warbunny. I said before that the Thunderzords had some pretty bad action sequences in the TV series due to the editing. So I like how the comics aren't restricted in the same way, so the Thunderzords get to do more in this series. The battle with Lord Drakon was confusing at first because I didn't remember the Shadow Grid battle turning out the way it did in this issue, but it turned out it was just a vision for Jason in a battle for his sanity. It was actually quite a good idea, and we got to see the drive for Jason wanting to join the emissary and eventually becoming an Omega Ranger. That's what I want to see the most. And he also says he needs to recruit new Rangers. So is he going to have a hand in bringing in Adam, Rocky and Aisha, or does he mean assembling a team of Omega Rangers? Just a few things to look forward to in the future.